What is happening, everybody? This is Adam, aka Iculus, coming to you with a random haul video this time. And these are some books that I picked up or got shipped to me this week from Midtown Comics. Wanted to cover for you. Also have a group of books I got to me from my comic shop that we'll be going over hopefully in another video. But anyway, wanted to try to get some of these knocked out before football this weekend, before college Saturday and pro Sunday makes me absolutely worthless watching football all weekend. So anyway, I wanted to get these done for y'all. This is a group of books that I picked up from Midtown. I've ordered quite a few books lately from both Midtown and my comic shop. Those have kind of been my go-to for some back issues. I do pick up some from my local shop, obviously, but enjoy searching through what the online retailers have. Do my best when I get books online. I try my best to pick ones that they advertise as near mint, and for the most part, I haven't been disappointed. Most of them, I'd say, meet that criteria. Um, they and I haven't been burned as far as shipping goes. I've heard there's some, I've read some nightmare stories from both Midtown and my comic shop about getting books delivered that have been damaged or whatever. I'm not dogging on either retailer because, quite frankly, I've had great success with both of them. I'm not sure if that boils down to how many issues you order or whatever. If you get one or two, if you just order one or two, how they come shipped. For the most part, I order, usually 14 to 18 books from those guys, and they come shipped all together, bagged and boarded, of course. Midtown puts them all in a paper bag and then wraps that all in bubble wrap and puts it in a box. My comic shop does it a little bit differently. They all come together in a plastic bag taped up, and then my comic shop has these foam corners that kind of go in the box that fit the books perfectly. So the foam corners are on the edges, obviously, and the books kind of sit in the middle and can't really shift around or get damaged too much. Again, I don't know how it works if you buy less than that, but if you buy a pretty decent stack that fits in a box, I haven't had any problems with them. And for the most part, I've been fairly happy with the grade. Every now and again, one that they advertise as near mint that has a little, how do I say, ding in the, not ding, like an indentation in the cover, or I've got one or two that had some spine creases that are non-color breaking, so I guess that still qualifies as near mint. But again, for the most part, I've been really happy. And I'll typically go every so often and just kind of browse books that I've seen in other videos, watching other people's back hauls, things that I've kind of noted down that have sparked my interest that I'd like to go back and pick up. Again, like I mentioned in my first video, I'm just kind of getting back into comics, so there's a lot of stuff I've missed. Also, I'm an art first guy. Story is important. The story has to be good for me to really continue with something. But again, a lot of times I'll pick something up just because I think the art is cool and kind of stands as its own as a work of art. And so anyway, these are some books I picked up. Midtown had a little bit of a sale this week for Halloween. They had a bunch of books that were 50% off. And then so I found a few things that I was interested in, and then just grabbed some other stuff to kind of fill out the order that I wanted. But anyway, to get going on the books, the first one here is Wolf Moon #1. This is a Vertigo book. I believe it's from 2014, I think. And I don't know a whole lot about this. Quite honestly, I just really love the cover. I thought it was some great art. I can only imagine, based on the art and the title, that it's got some werewolf things going on. So I picked this up. I don't know if I'll get the rest of them. I'm not sure exactly how many stories are in this series. I think it's think it says on the cover 6, maybe. So we'll read it. We'll check it out this weekend, see how it is, and depending on what I think, I may grab the rest of them. Who knows? So there's that. So this next book, go ahead and get this one out of the way. This is Ghosted #1. I don't know if you can see how well it shows up. Right up here it says second printing. I am not really one usually to grab second prints. Don't get me wrong, I'll grab stuff and trade to read it, but if I'm grabbing a single, I want it to be the first print, even if it's a book I'm not gonna plan on collecting all of them or whatever. I just think first prints are kind of the way to go. And anyway, when I opened this out of the box, it kind of caught me off guard a little bit because I didn't remember it saying that it was a second print or anything like that. So I went back and pulled the invoice that got sent. And I don't know how well this shows up or if I can get it in frame, but if you can see right there, it says Ghosted #1 first printing. Well, obviously that is not the first printing. It says right on the cover second printing. So I'm not exactly sure what happened there. But, whatever. I think I got it on sale for like $1.50, so I'm not going to get totally bent out of shape over it. But that was the only disappointment I had from this issue, or this shipment. So we'll read it, check it out. I'm not 100% sure what the story's about. It just seemed intriguing. Got a James Bond-ish looking character there on the front, so we'll see what happens. Next, we have some hole fillers. We have Flash #2. I've really enjoyed the new Flash story. I thought it's one of the better DC Rebirth books. I have all of them except Flash #2 and #3. So I wanted to go back and get those to kind of fill in those holes in the story and just have them. So I think, I'm not 100% sure. DC's doing 2 covers for most of their Rebirth, or a lot of their Rebirth books. I believe this is the A cover. So I went back in and grabbed this. But again, Flash has been really good. I think that's just a super cool cover. So I wanted to pick it up and fill out that run. And as I said, I was missing Flash #2 and #3. So here we have Flash #3. This is the B cover. Flash has been really good. I don't know how much further I'll go with Flash. I think we're on #9, 9 just came out 9 or 10 just came out a couple of weeks ago. I think it was 9. And when I flipped through it, I noticed that the artist had changed. So the story's still pretty good, but the art in the last one definitely left something to be desired. So I don't know how much further I'll go with that. It may be one of the ones that hits the chopping block to make some room for some other stuff. But the first part of the Flash is really good. Is that something on there? No. So anyway, those fill out my run for the Rebirth Flash so far. So I wanted to go ahead and grab those. Next, we have Deadpool Art of War. This is from 2014, I think. And, I don't 100% know what's going on with this book. I just know you've got Sun Tzu, Art of War. A historically popular book. It's been translated 8 billion times. And then you mix that with the Merc with a Mouth and humor, and who knows what's going to go on. So anyway, I want to check this out and see what's going on. It's a 4-issue series, I believe, and I thought the cover was pretty cool. So when I stumbled on it, I wanted to go ahead and pick it up and see what was going on. And speaking of 4 issues, they also had issue #2. I'm not sure what's going on with this Thor-looking guy over here on the right. But we got Deadpool hanging out with his umbrella. I'll read these first 2 issues, and depending on how the story is, who knows, I may get the other 2. I probably will, just if it's 4 issues, just to say I have all of them. But I don't know. We'll check it out. But I thought the cover art was pretty cool, and the concept of the story, as little as I know about it, was interesting. So we'll see where it goes from there. So next we have this book, and Spawn. I realized that books from the 90s kind of get a bad rap for what happened with the comic industry, and that there was, you know, every kind of gimmick under the sun with full covers and this, that, and the other, and you know, million print runs and speculators galore, and probably crashing the comic industry, whatever. All I know is that back when I was collecting, before probably late 80s, early 90s, when I saw Spawn come out, it was unlike anything that I had really ever seen. The art was completely different. It really just kind of stood out in my mind as something completely different and grabbed my attention. So now that I've gotten back into it, I've really wanted to go back and pick up a lot of the back issue Spawns. We're up to 260 something, 266 maybe is the current issue. I'm not going to go back and pick up 266 back issues of Spawn. But I definitely will go back and grab, you know, the first few issues that were primarily McFarlane. Also probably, I think it's 259 through 266, 265, which is Eric Larson and McFarlane kind of getting back together on this book. So I'll grab those. But anyway, I've been wanting to go back and pick some of the back issue Spawns, and the next couple of books we have coming up are the ones that Midtown had in about the first 30-ish issues that they had in quote-unquote near mint condition. My local shops, I've got 3 local shops to me, and they all have some back issue Spawn, but most of them are not in the best condition. They've got, you can tell they're pretty beat. They've got some blunted corners, a lot of yellowing, just not really taken the best care of. And, you know, a book this old, I can get the stories a lot of different places. So when I want the issues, I want them in a really good condition. This was advertised as near mint, and I would say it definitely meets that criteria. It's not 9/8 or anything crazy like that, but the corners are sharp. There's not any color breaking nicks on the spine. Doesn't show a lot of spine wear, so cover's still pretty glossy. So anyway, I think it's probably a 9.4, 9.6. So anyway, glad to have that. And following in that same theme, we have Spawn number 11. Again, these are the ones they had in near mint. So grabbing a few. We have Spawn number 13. Great example of that kind of early 90s art that, like I said, just kind of changed the game for me. It was something different than any comic book I had seen at the time. And it just kind of changed my perspective a little bit of what was possible for cover art. Next we have Spawn number 15. We got Spawn taking a sword to the head of the Violator there. Pretty cool looking cover. Try to run through these a little faster since you all know what's coming. Spawn number 23. Yeah, 23. And I think this is the last one. Yeah. Spawn number 25. I have to go back and look when McFarlane passed off the art. I want to say it was around 30, 50, something. So none of these are keys. The only real keys are one, if you call that a key, because there was like a billion of them printed, and then maybe number 10. Let me get that wrong. 10 is Angela. So anyway, So next we got a run of War Stories, Garth Ennis and Thomas Ara. I'm sorry if by some miracle chance Tom is watching and I've butchered your name. I apologize. So, but I stumbled on these. I kind of really am like I say, I'm a history buff in another video. I enjoy some of the war books. I'd really like to go back and get a lot of the Atlas war comics from the 50s and 60s. Only problem with those is they're really tough to come by in any kind of decent condition without the covers detached and just beat all to death. And if you do find one that's not just totally beat, the prices are up there. I do have one issue of Battle. Oh my god, mixed up. Battlefront. That I'll probably show in another haul that I'm pretty excited about. But anyway, I stumbled on this and was kind of excited about it and wanted to pick some of them up. These all have 4 covers. There's a regular cover, a cover B, which is different art but is a wraparound cover. There's a C cover, which is kind of a pinup art, kind of a nose cone of a World War II plane thing, kind of feel to it. And then there's a cover D, which is the same pinup art as the C cover, but with bullet holes in it. And I guess the D cover is the one that commands the most premium, maybe the most limited. But it's really the A and the B covers that I think are the best art. So that's probably what I'm going to be focusing on. I'll get the A or the B, just depending on which one I like better. I think most of these come in like a 1 to 3, or excuse me, like 3 to 4 issue kind of story arc. Again, this is number 4, but if you can see up here, it says Children of Israel 1 of 3. I haven't read it yet, but I can only imagine this covers, it talks about the Golan Heights in Israel. I'm not sure if this is the, I'm going to get this wrong, the 6-Day War or the Yom Kippur War in Israel in the 60s and or 70s, depending on which story it covers. But kind of excited to check it out and see what it's all about. And I think the cover art by, again, Thomas Ara is really good. And a lot of y'all obviously know Garth Ennis from Punisher and other things. So